How's it going? YouTube, whoever ends up watching these videos. So, I'm watching a YouTube video on physics. I love physics. It's one of the coolest things we do. In fact, I think if I go back to school, well, I will go back to school, but I'm highly considering getting shooting for a doctorate in physics. It's just so awesome, man. I mean, science is one of the coolest things we do. Alright, so it dawns on me, and as I'm watching this physics video, he's talking about inertia, rotational velocity, laws of motion, Newtonian physics, and it dawns on me that actually I should probably Google this before I decide that this is something that I just came up with. So let's Google it first. Yeah. Ah! Haha! It looks like others have already thought of this. Never mind. Let's talk about this for a second. Oh. See, people are thinking of this not the way I'm thinking of it. Not the way I'm thinking of it. Okay, so what just dawned on me is that I've always been a big fan of the idea of a GUT, or a grand unifying theory, and I followed string theory pretty closely, and Newtonian and Einsteinian physics, and I've always wondered, like, how exactly this grand unifying theory would fit into the picture. Where did I put that? How or where it would actually take place. And it seems that the surface tension, well, there we go, surface tension. I haven't even said that yet. So it dawns on me that there's this threshold where there's no longer these quantum oddities having an effect on the macroscopic world versus microscopic quantum awesomeness. And so it dawned on me that, what if the reason for this is because the fabric of space and time actually has some sort of surface tension. Now, as I Google this, it appears, that they're thinking that space and time, well, these questions on these forums, so far it doesn't look like anybody's thinking of it in the same terms I do. They're thinking that space-time would have some sort of surface tension on a macro scale. So like poking a hole through it, having a black hole so dense that it'll push through, which theoretically is what a wormhole is. But the way I'm thinking of it is on a much more macro scale. That if you think about it, like think of a glass filled up to the very top, so it just kind of has this little surface tension, this little Boyd surface coming up about that far off of the edge of the glass. It's got the tension going on, and you have all the little molecules in the water floating around doing their thing, causing the surface tension, but you put something in there and it will displace the water. It will move everything aside. It will break the surface tension, and have a macro effect on the water as far as the surface tension is concerned. If you put, you know, something quite light in there, like a piece of hair, or, you know, even a little skeeter bug or something, it'll just kind of float right on top of there. It won't have really any massive effect. It won't break through that surface tension and begin to displace the liquid. What if it works on that kind of a scale? What if the reason why we can't find a connection between the macro and micro scales of the universe is because space-time actually has something akin to surface tension, where there's just this threshold where when something gets a certain size or mass density, it will begin to have gravitational effects. It will begin to break through that threshold and start to displace or bend or distort or contort or whatever. And yeah, that's just a dawning thought. I would have to think about it a little bit more carefully, but yeah, I'm not thinking of it the way these guys are apparently thinking of it. I'm not thinking of it on a massive scale. I'm thinking of it on a quite micro scale. That once, you know, when you're in the liquid, when you're in the water, you have all these effects with other things. There's no real adherence to time. There's no real adherence to spatial differentiation. There's coherence. There's weird stuff that happens like this. But once you gain a certain level of density or mass, you push through or pass that threshold that the surface tension of space and time can allow for quantum effects. You push past that threshold and it breaks the surface tension, pops through it, and becomes stabilized in space, and therefore becomes is forced more into adherence with space and time. That space-time isn't actually the medium itself, but that the thresholds being passed of displacement and density is what causes the displacement or space and time to begin to take effect. So yeah, I'm just kind of like making this up as we go, but not really. I'm just thinking out loud, I guess is what you would call it. Yeah, physics is awesome. So yeah, just a theory. I have no mathematics to back it up. I have no proof. It's just a hypothesis without any evidence. An idea that may amount to something, it may not, but it would be interesting to look at that. So that's that. Surface tension in space and time. I think it's at least something to consider. Yeah. So, at any rate, thanks for watching. The small amount of people that would be interested in watching such a video. Okay, have a good one. Later, guys.